Point well taken, that because everybody is different and in a school situation children will have height and weight and so many differences as a part of their growing up, because at one level, let's say grade 7 or grade 8, no children will be exactly looking the same. And yes, children do have this tendency at times of passing comments or harassing an individual based on physical attributes. The role of a parent, in my opinion, is, first of all, what do you feel about it? Are you comfortable? Or even you end up commenting on it. If you don't comment, then that's one step forward. If you feel that the child has heard these things and is able to express to you that, well, this is what people say, you need to help the child understand the fact that each individual is a different individual, that there is life so much beyond the height and the weight and the color. You need to keep on reminding your child about the positives in the child, what the child is good at, and keep on reminding that. You should always give more and more positive strokes. The issue with this kind of bullying which happens towards more physical attributes of a child, that can have an impact on self-esteem. If parents supplies positive strokes about whether it's academic, sports, friendship, likes, hobbies, if you fill in that gap, then even if some stimuli of negative stimulus is coming, the child would be able to balance it well. So your understanding of this and your positive approach yourself as a parent is probably going to make much difference merely than talking about it. So I try and give you a whole steps, but both from the preventive side also. So to me, the basic prevention of most issues is in the relationship, the bond between the parent and the child, and I think that's where the key is. If you have a healthy communication, if the child can share with you, express to you whatever is happening in the child's life, then this child is going to be so much more secure, so much more comfortable, and that is how you need to take it forward. If your child is showing some signs of distress like what I have enumerated, if you feel that's happening, first step, also try and find out from the school and try to understand what's happening at the school. Second, talk to your child in an open-ended manner. Open-ended means asking questions in a way that it's not intrusive, it's not judgmental. Most importantly, the child expresses. It should be a release mechanism for a child, not a pencil tick and cross for you where you can give guidance. Once the child has expressed the distress or the experience, get the child involved in what the solution could be. Ask for suggestions and reinforce self-correction and change as well. If you feel that you need to involve somebody, make sure you involve the child as well. Do not go behind the child. So don't go and talk to the teacher without telling the child. Tell the child, I think we should talk to the teacher. Or maybe let's go to a counselor and take help. Don't hesitate about this. You go to a pediatrician when your child has fever. You go to a skin specialist if there is a skin rash. Similarly, if you feel that the child is going through a phase where emotions are being affected, don't hesitate. Meet a psychologist, meet a psychiatrist, meet your school counselor. Don't hesitate. If you'll go ahead and approach it, you will be able to find that by some talk that happens with your child or with you, things can just very easily come back on track. And it's your positive approach at the end of the day which is going to make the difference. So several times we've seen either school sending us somebody for help or parents coming themselves. I've seen a whole range of kids, very young kids in primary to senior school kids. Maybe the nature of bullying, the content is different. I've worked a lot also with kids who have been into bullying themselves, and and I've always believed that both these sides need to be worked upon. We've had kids who've had bullying experiences in their breaks as a part of sports, that somebody not letting you play, or somebody who's dismissive about your physical attributes. We've seen bullying that happens in a very physical manner as well. We've seen bullying in a way that a child who's performing well is laughed upon by people, so the child starts having doubts. We've seen children who want to perform socially and then people making fun of them. So these kind of situations have come, and invariably how we've worked is we've utilized the school environment where we'd talk to the teacher and try and change the atmosphere in a way that the child gets a more conducive atmosphere and the child is able to express put one teacher or a counselor in charge who can keep on talking to the child and make sure that positive strokes continue to be given to this child, so that the child does not fall into a low of a self-esteem kind of a problem or a question mark. And simultaneously to figure out the child or children who are the bullies, and then get them and then start working with them. As far as they are concerned, our basic work with them is on empathy, which means you give them the ability to learn to be aware of the impact of their own action on others. You know, how would you feel? How would you feel if somebody would do this to your younger brother or your younger sister? And you make them understand that, and then you put them on a behavioral correction program, again with the help of the school. The role of parents is going to be very supportive to make sure that they don't become aggressive themselves in trying to, you know, mend things and do something about it, and be very supportive for the child and be a secure base. I've always believed that parents are the secure base, you know, that the child can experiment with life and understand how things are going, and whenever there is a problem or a good thing, come back and share it with the parent. Either ways, get help and support from them. And that's how I would look at you know, the collective role of all of us, including people from my background, where we have a role to play in, more so in educating people, not merely treating people who come to us for intervention, because that's always going to be a very, very small number. But the key is that how do we reach out into a more preventive kind of an approach and use education, where I feel media has a very, very strong role to play. We at Max, Department of Mental Health and Behavioral Sciences, have been running a program called the Max School Mental Health Program now for several years, NCR and some other states and cities as well, where we conduct parent training workshops and teacher training programs. We've worked with school counselors. We conduct a very specialized program called the Pro-Social Peer Moderator Program. It's a very unique program where Max Healthcare experts train kids into role model behavior of specific topics. Right now the topics we are using are aggression management, risk behavior management, media literacy, which is a very unique program that we do, where we train children how to learn to filter media messages, because so much of stuff is available in media, and we give them a role model on study and exam skills. So these senior kids go and teach junior kids, and they become their peer role models, starting a cycle where students learn positive things from students. And besides that, we do have a counseling program available across Max Healthcare, not just here, but our upcoming hospitals in other cities as well. And that's essentially what our program is all about.